Do it for Christ. Only got one life.
Hello.
What's going on?
Hey, everybody. Oh, guess what day it is? It is Wednesday.
It's Wealthy Marriage. It's not even just normal Wednesday.
No, it's not.
It is Wealthy
Marriage
Marriage Wednesday. And so, guess what? You have the pleasure of us coming on a little bit early.
Yes.
So, congratulations to you for being able to interact in days early in the day.
Yeah.
So, we are so excited for you.
Oh, we are.
Yes, we are.
I'm excited.
Yeah. And so, today is a great day. It's a day we're on the road today, as you can see by our background. We're keeping it all the way 100.
Yes, we are traveling.
We are. We're in AC today.
Yeah.
Shout out to Philadelphia, Atlantic City.
Yes. Oh, and it's my first time being in AC.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. Shout out to all the lovely people here.
Yes.
You're a tremendous blessing. All right. So we're going to get into it today. I know you've been eagerly anticipating this topic of today, which is the pros and cons of long-term real estate investing. And that is our topic today.
Yes.
We've been excited to talk about this topic because we can talk about pros. You hear a lot of us talk about pros.
Yeah.
We're way over-indexed on talking about pros.
Yeah. You think so?
Absolutely.
How can you be over-indexed on it?
Because we talk about this all the time, but but I think sometimes we got to talk about the cons too.
Yeah.
It's like there's other sides, like there's multiple sides.
There is.
And sometimes we gloss over some of those different things.
Yeah, I think we do. So I think it's a good opportunity to address it.
Yeah. So you hang in here with us. We're gonna go all the way through it. So just to talk a little bit about this week. This week in real estate, it just feels like it was a slightly slower week.
I have to agree. It does. It does. Kind of, we have some projects that are kind of going a little bit slower than we thought.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Evaluated some deals this week.
Yeah.
Didn't have the, it's got to have that. We came close on a couple opportunities, but we're still looking to buy. So if you know somebody looking to sell, send them our way, and then we'll do the same for you. So if you're looking for something, we'll send it to you. Because sometimes what's good for somebody is not good for everybody.
Right. Everybody has their own plan. So
we've been looking around at different stuff, wanting to see what's going to be our next investment, which way to go. We are now wanting to continue to grow our single family portfolio. We've kind of been walking back on some of the multifamily stuff. So we sold a couple multifamily, looking to do something bigger. And so I really want to do, let me tell y'all what I really want to do. And so Joy is getting excited about it little by little, I can tell. Is I want to do a commercial. Y'all tell me if this is a good idea in the chat, but I really want to do a commercial property where that has residential and business together. And so, or it has like a business and somewhere where business people could play. So like a live, work, play type situation. And so, I'm putting my developer hat on now. So if y'all got some good ideas, I want y'all to hit us up with that.
And let us know.
Yeah, let us know what you got or what you're passionate about. So that, and also we love single family houses. In great neighborhoods with working people who, just do great things because we're working people who do great things. And so we love providing houses for our neighbors that we would live in ourselves. And so that's a pretty easy slogan, if you will, but that's what we do. And so I thank God for the opportunity to be able to talk today, because today we're going to keep it even a little bit more real. Is today we're going to be talking about this subject. I'm going to put it up on the screen so you can see it. The pros and cons of long-term real estate business. Ooh wee. Because there are certainly pros and there are certainly cons.
Yes, but let's tell them who we are first, though. So we're Coach John and Joy. So we just wanted to tell you a little bit, just to get to know us, to make sure and we are real estate investors and we are real estate coaches.
Yeah. So if you're first time here, you're talking to people who actually do this business. We're talking real estate today, but we also talk about marriages all the time. We are youth ministers and we have a family, 3 kids, teenagers. who do an amazing job, and so we learned some stuff, and we learned a lot of it the hard way. And then we
Yeah,
got
we
some
did.
help, some mentorship, and then we
Yeah.
started to accelerate
Yeah,
in a significant way. So we offer that to other people.
yeah, we do.
But at the same time, hey, we're just mom and pop over here running some businesses and hanging out with each other.
Right.
Yeah, and so like what a lot of people want to do is be free with their time. And so we are actively getting to it
Yes.
in that way. And so
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the pros and cons of long-term rental businesses.
all right, so when you're talking about pros and cons of a long-term rental business, okay, we're going to go into this thing.
Yes.
This is significant.
It is.
You don't want to miss out on this.
No, you don't
It's
want to
like,
miss.
Guess what? We still gonna start with the pros because there's way more pros than cons. But at the same time, we're gonna talk about the pros just in case you didn't know. If you was looking for a property or looking for an investment that you can actually control. And so you don't look here. You can buy all the stocks you want, but you don't run them companies,
Right.
and you can't go up and touch.
Right. That's what I like. You can touch it.
You can touch
You
it.
can touch it.
Yeah, you can go touch
It's-
the
and
thing that you own.
And it feels more real when you can put your hands on it. To me personally, it feels more
Absolutely.
real when you can actually touch it.
Absolutely. And then it diversifies. So it's not just one thing that you're doing. It's that you get the opportunity to put your money into different assets, different ways of doing business. It's really cool. And so it's multiple different streams and different channels and different ways you could be able to do your thing.
Right. And so also passive income, which is a plus, especially if you work a full-time job, you work in corporate and things like that, being able to have some income coming in that you don't have to actually actively put all of your time into, and you still put some money in your pocket.
That's facts. That's facts. And so we're not going to get into that big complicated, but if we was talking about some of the pieces about why real estate can be challenging, it's like, dude, you can't sell it real quick.
No.
Yeah. Like, you just can't. Like if you own, like we own some stocks. So if you own some stocks or some Bitcoin, Bitcoin just hit an all-time high. And so you might have just sold your Bitcoin off at like 67,000. You're like, oh man, shoot, I just made it. I'm back. It was down closer to 20, and then you got it and tripled your money or something like that. But you can sell it anytime you want.
Okay.
And so with a piece of real estate, it's not like that.
Oh.
And so we deal with that from time to time.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of big capital expenses that you incur when you do real estate. Like you need new roofs, HVACs. You might have had a project. You thought this project was going to be a $70,000 rehab, and then you got into it, and then you saw the termite damage. You was like, "Where do you think termites come from?"
Oh my goodness, that is something.
Yeah, or you got in there, you saw something that you just didn't know. You wasn't expecting to replace all the plumbing. You thought some of it was good, but then it turned out that some of it wasn't as good as what you thought it was good. And so there's just so many different things that you end up needing some more capital randomly. And so it's a capital intensive business. If you're going to be paying a lot of people, you're paying contractors, you're paying for a lot of materials and labor, you're paying for a lot of buildings, there's a lot of cost, legal fees, you're just paying people to do stuff all the time. And so to do that, it's a capital requirement. It's a little bit of a lift.
Yes, it is. It is. And there's also, with that, like you have a lot of expenses you can, but then there's also the tenant side of it. The tenant side can be challenging. And if you're not able to pick the best tenant or sometimes the right tenant for your property, then that can be a challenge to deal with. Like one of the first things we did, I was the one doing the property managing the tenants part. And I got there and I was like, oh, so excited. We had got this apartment. Well, it's like one of our triplex or whatever. And I was so excited. I had finally got it rented. That was the best tenant, great tenant. And then we found out that she stopped paying. I had did all the things. I had did my due diligence, I thought. But then she slipped through the cracks. She slipped through the cracks. And rents wasn't getting paid. It was excuse after excuse, which is challenging. I mean, and that can be hard to deal with. And I know that sometimes some of the things that a lot of people hear about, the challenging part of tenants. which it can be.
It can't be.
It can be because you are losing out on your time, your money. I mean, and it can be a little stressful, but when you do find that excellent tenant that loves your place and loves and pays on time with no problem, it's worth it. What you think?
Well, I think, whenever I'm thinking about tenants, you got to follow a process.
Yeah.
And so anytime you have process in the systems, you're going to win. But if you don't have process, you don't luck up and just trip into finding great people. Is that you advertise it right, you fix your property up right, but then you also knew how to screen people properly. And so don't be like me and just grab a piece of cash and then throw it up in the air and think you made it. And so sometimes if we don't have the right education or the right information, then we'll look at people and we never looked at their credit, or we didn't look at their and credit's not the only thing, it's not the most important thing, but did you look at the rental history? Do they have any active evictions? Is somebody about to come take their car? Like sometimes people are dealing with things and they're in a place where they really can't afford to live in a house by themselves.
Yeah.
And so it happens. I've been in positions ourselves when, I just didn't have it, but I wanted something that I couldn't afford.
Yeah.
And so our job as landlords is to be able to sort through the people who can afford things and the people who can't. And then so steady employment is always a good thing. And then also people who, if you do get some kind of assistance from a different place, is to make sure that that assistance is locked in and that you understand the program, they understand the program, and so that everybody can win together. And so tenant selection is definitely a big learning lesson for most people. Everybody's so scared of tenants. Most of us have rented at some time, but we're also scared of tenants. Like, maybe we were seriously, like we've all rented. Would we rent to ourselves? I wonder, with your kids, when your kids was young, would you want the you family with the young kids tearing up your house? But for whatever reason, my family's never tore up the cabinets in my house.
No.
Well, actually, one cabinet. Yeah. Well, I guess
never mind. Right, never mind. We spoke too soon.
Spoke too soon. One of them. That's the little one. Yeah, he got to it.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm gonna tell you, in generally speaking, there's most people out there are good people, but it's just making sure that you don't get the wrong people, because it can really set you back.
It can. It really can.
Yeah, but at the same time, then there's also rehab. And so, sometimes you get into fixing things up.
Oh, yeah.
And it's more than what you thought.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of a con, is that, no matter how much you estimate, you can get pretty close, but there's always going to be unknowns, because it's a business. And so when that happens, you will need to adjust and pivot and just be prepared. And so, learn from people who've already done it, has some different experiences, and can kind of tell you need to have this kind of contingency, or these are some of the things that may be a challenge for you. And so it's good to have some of the information.
It is. That's one of the things to look out for, especially when you're rehabbing. It's like, okay, that is something to consider.
So then, we talked about some of the pros and cons. Is like one of those things is that, you're going to get some tax benefits, but there's some work that you're going to need to do. Like you're opening this real estate business where you're fixing up houses, you're buying them, you're putting people in them, or you're selling them to folks. I mean, there's some time and some effort and some learning that you're going to need to do to be able to really get that right. But you do get great benefits. And then there's this point about having steady cash flow. Yeah, cash flow is great. And then sometimes, I hear people talk about this interest rate. It's like, Joy, the interest rates are so high, man. I'm not buying anything. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
And what difference does it make? I'm not worried about the interest rate. Do you know that in 1981, the interest rate for a 30-year loan was like at 18% in 1981?
Wow.
And so you're going to tell me that people were still buying then? It wasn't like they didn't buy it for a whole year or 2 years, that they just stopped buying. 3 years they stopped buying. Nah, people was buying it then, and they buying it now.
Right.
And there's no point when people aren't going to buy stuff. And so you just got to not worry about how much somebody else is making. So if the interest says this is how much the bank is making or investors are making, well, congratulations. I want them to make a lot of money. And so I'm not worried about how much you're making. I'm worried about how much I'm making. And so I think we need to measure the right thing. Measure how much money you supposed to make. And then be excited that you get to be part of somebody else's economy as well. Because when money flows, and and you
Yeah.
keep it flowing to other people, it's going to keep flowing back to you.
Yeah, so don't let that interest rate increase and be the determining factor whether you invest or not, because it really, like John was just saying, it doesn't make a difference,
No.
because you can still invest and you can still make money and you can still get that steady income into your pockets.
Yeah, and then too, it's like even right now, the interest rates might have crept up a little bit, but the inventory was lower. And so now the prices have still maintained, in many ways have continued to rise year over year. So now instead of buying, you waited. And so now you're paying more, and then your payment is more. And then if you can't afford a bigger payment, then you know what's happening. You're getting less house.
Yeah.
You're getting less property.
Right.
And then you feel like, oh, I missed it. So I'm going to wait again. And then the cycle continues.
Right.
And so the job is to get in now, find the criteria, the things that you like, and then be able to monetize those things. You'll be glad you did. Speed is our friend when it comes to real estate. So
Yes.
there's even more pros.
There's more.
I know you've heard us talk about this before, but real
Yeah.
estate's ideal. That's a pro.
It's really.
It's because you get
ideal.
income, you get to claim depreciation,
Yes.
which is tax benefits. There's equity, there's appreciation, which is your property goes up in value.
Right.
And then there's this thing called leverage.
Leverage.
And the best part about leverage is you get to leverage assets. Like you get to buy a building, add some improvements to it, make it better, and then make it a nice home for somebody. And then you can use other people's money because they know you're so secure.
Right.
They believe you're a secure person and they believe you're a great business. So they want to fund you so that you can give them interest.
What?
And so banks will give you that because they give you the money because you're the right person to be able to help secure the investments of all the people who put their money into the bank. They know it's good.
They know
their deposits are good because they can trust you.
Wow.
And so you're a trustworthy person. You should be the one who manages that piece of the portfolio. And so just like we trust the CEO of Apple and Microsoft, and we trust all these different funds and mutual funds and all these different people to be able to manage our money, then we're going to do the same thing by managing the bank's money well and returning it with interest and being a good investment.
Yeah, that's good. So that's real estate, man.
I would invest in us.
I would too.
So there's a lot of pros. And ultimately, what we found is that no matter what, it's been a lot more pros than cons.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, even if we started naming off cons, like, having a property or having somebody steal from you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's rough. When you get that call
rough.
and somebody calls you and they tell you about how somebody broke a door and then the windows broke in, and then they talk about the things that were damaged and the things that were taken, and you feel violated and you feel like you're a failure. You feel like you didn't lock the place up right.
Yeah, because you makes you think, what didn't I do? What could I have done to prevent it? Even when you've taken precautions, it still sucks.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
And so you get that low sinking feeling and you're like, man, I'm a complete failure. But then you remember, I have insurance. And not only do you have insurance, but also is that, that small amount of stuff that they took, it becomes more of an inconvenience than anything else.
Right.
And so sometimes, instead of stealing the copper, I would have rather just gave you $50 if you came in here and just asked for it, or gave you a job and paid you way more than $50.
Right.
But at the same time, somebody might have needed it more than we did in that moment. And so I hope that it blessed their life. Maybe they got some food for their family or whatever that they needed to be able to survive. And so sometimes if we think about things bigger than just being upset and know that it's just such a small thing in a big pond, a small drop, then it's no big deal.
Right.
Yeah. And so the cons of real estate, if you're open to learning something new and you're open to getting some new skills and being able to, think about things a little bit differently, then it really is one of the easiest ways to generate some wealth for your family and also generate some value for other people in the marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely. So do it. It's got more pros than cons.
Yeah, all right. So that's our full report. We talked about a few pros and cons, but the truth is, I think we're really just telling you, you need to just do it. And if you come to that point in your time and you saying, hey, I just want to just do it, but I don't really know all the places to get
Mhm.
started. I got 1 or 2 properties, and I really want to get 3 or 4 properties. I got, my
Yeah.
house and my old house and another rental property, and it's going pretty well, but
Mhm.
I want to scale it up and go to the next level.
Right.
Well, that's why we created this program, this real estate training program, this real estate coaching.
Mhm.
It's really for married couples and partners to be able to work together in business and do it really at a high level.
Mhm.
And we want to see you all make some money, and not
Yeah.
make money just to make money, but make some monies to be pillars in your community, to be
Yes.
able to stand up and be in a place where you can add some value in the
Mhm.
areas that you love the most.
Right. So bringing value to your community and to the people, your neighbors. I mean, it's no better feeling than when you're able to do that, to see the impact that you can have in your community with real estate investing.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
So, whenever we talk in real estate, we always are going to need to tell you that if you start now,
Mhm.
there's never a better time than starting now.
That's right.
And so, we do this, and we do it, and we're seeing our couples win and seeing partners come together in a special
Yeah.
way. And so, we are so excited for you. And so, for all
Yes.
those who are watching this, I want you to mark your calendars for some special times that we have coming up in the month of April.
Yeah.
We're going to have some announcements coming up, but April 3rd is going to be really cool. We're going to be doing a little seminar. I think you'll be excited about that. And then also, coming up in the month of April, we're having a massive, wonderful boot camp.
Oh, it's gonna be
It's
fantastic.
phenomenal. We're going for boot camp round 2.
Yes.
Round 1 was an amazing success, and we're
Yes.
going for round 2. This one right here, we're going to be challenging you to
Yes.
move quicker and accelerate all of your
Mhm.
goals in your business and in your partnerships.
Yes.
But I'm gonna tell you, until we talk to you again,
Mhm.
many blessings to you, and just
Yes.
always remember that it's
Always
always better
better
together.
together.
Talk to you later.